Hey guys, welcome to my room. I don't think I filmed a single video in here since I moved back home for the summer. So here it is. There's a window right here and it kind of looks like I'm glowing with like ethereal light. It's just because it's very sunny and there's a window right there. Anyways, aside from moving back to my childhood home for the summer, I've been spending this summer rereading Fullmetal Alchemist. If you don't know what Fullmetal Alchemist is, I don't know how you missed it, but it is a very, very popular manga and anime series, and I love it. I read the manga series for the first time when I was in high school, and it was, and still is, one of my favorite stories ever. I just think it's really, really good. It's really well plotted, the characters are amazing, the writing is amazing, the art is amazing. It's just so good. It's really one of my top favorite stories ever. And one of the reasons why I think it's so good is because it's a relatively short, contained series. As a manga series, it's like 27 volumes, which sounds kind of long if you were thinking about like regular books, but for manga, because like they read pretty quickly, 27 volumes isn't that long, and it really like feels like a contained story. Like there's a very clear beginning, middle, and end. There's a really clear progression of plot. It's not like one of those really long series that like just keeps going and after a while either like becomes very repetitive or like changes a lot and then all of a sudden it's like you're like reading a different series because it's changed so much. So the moral of this introduction is that I want to talk about why I really love short, contained series. So things like Fullmetal Alchemist, that's only 27 volumes of a really contained story, or shows like Gravity Falls that are only 2 seasons? Was Gravity Falls 1 season or 2? I didn't do my research for this video, did I? I can't remember, but it was short. It was a short, contained series. It didn't go on for like 100 episodes. Or like Over the Garden Wall, which was only 10 episodes. Like things like that that are longer than a movie, but not a really, really long series. That I find is like the sweet spot for storytelling. Those are my favorite kinds of stories. Not to say I don't like longer things, like Homestuck is one of my favorite things ever. It's insanely long. And like, I love One Piece. It's incredibly long. But I really find that like the strongest stories tend to be shorter. And I think it's because they're shorter, because when something gets really long, you eventually like lose track of it. Like, no matter what it is, even if it's really good, eventually if something goes on for a really long time, like I said, it's either going to get really repetitive, you're just going to be doing the same thing over and over, or it's going to change so much from the beginning to the end that it doesn't feel like the same story anymore, and like, the author's going to lose track of plot lines, the audience is going to lose track of plot lines, and eventually like, things that were really epic at the beginning are either going to be like completely resolved and over halfway through the series and like you can't really keep that momentum, or they're going to be like dragged on for so long that they won't be satisfying anymore. Like you really need to have a concise plan, I feel like, to tell a really effective story, and it needs to be kind of short in order to do that so that you can really like keep up that pacing, so you can like have something at the beginning that pays off in the end and it's not so far away that you've like forgotten about it and it doesn't feel as impressive. Like stories like Fullmetal Alchemist have very effective plots and are so good because they know when to end. And I find a lot of longer series just like don't seem to know when to end. They just keep going. And there's like so much value in a satisfying ending. I would rather have a really, really good story that ends pretty quickly, that's pretty short, but the ending is super satisfying, than something that drags on for ages and there's tons and tons of episodes, but like halfway through you kind of don't care anymore because it hasn't had any kind of satisfying ending. You know? That's how I feel. And I'm not saying that like long series are bad, but I just find there's a lot of value in short series and I really like them and I wanted to talk about that. I also find that short series are like the perfect middle ground between a movie and a long series, because I find movies like there's some really good movies out there. I like some movies a lot, but no matter what, they're so short, you don't really have time to like super dig into the characters. You don't have time to really explore the side characters. There's not as much room for like funny side stories or like random little bits in the middle that like don't really relate to the story but are just fun for the audience, either because they're funny or they dig into a side character's backstory or whatever. Like, I like having those kind of asides that you don't have time for in a movie, and you do have time for in a short series. Like, if it's a short series, you can still dedicate an episode or a volume or a chapter or whatever to exploring a side character or to like a random beach episode. You have time to do that so you can have that fun extra stuff, but it's not so long that, like I said, it just gets too long and it's no longer satisfying. So I love some movies and I love some long series, but I think my favorite thing is that in between, that like short, not too short, but kind of short thing that like It's really satisfying. You can really dig into the characters. There's a lot of material to really like love and dig into and expand upon, but like you get to that ending and you love that ending and you're kind of sad it ended because you really liked it, but like I would rather have a show or a book or series or whatever that I'm sad when it ends, but it was a really good ending. Like, if you're sad that it ends, it's almost like a good time to end, because that means like you're left like, satisfied, it was so good. When something's really long, you're almost kind of like relieved when it ends. You're like, oh, finally it's over. And I don't think that's a good sign. Like, I think you should get to a point where you're like, I'm sad it's over because I really loved it, but also that ending was epic. And that's how I feel about Fullmetal Alchemist and Gravity Falls and stuff like that. I don't really know what the point of this video was. I just kind of wanted to talk about why I love Fullmetal Alchemist and why I love short series. And also get some recommendations. Like, do you have any suggestions for like a short, concise series? It doesn't have to be super short. Like, Fullmetal Alchemist isn't tiny. It is a pretty like expansive story, but it doesn't go on forever. And that's what I like. So do you have any suggestions of like cartoons, animes, whatever, that are like a couple seasons, a few volumes, long enough to really like dig into the meat of the story, but not so long that you're like, it should have ended years ago? Let me know, because I do want to read and watch more stuff like that, because that's what I really love. So my 3 suggestions that I can think of off the top of my head are Fullmetal Alchemist, Gravity Falls, and Over the Garden Wall. I know there's others out there, I just can't think of them right now, but you should let me know your suggestions, and let me know, do you like short series like that? Do you like that concise, compact storytelling that like has enough time to dig into the story but ends in a satisfying way? Or do you prefer like movies? Do you like things really short, concise, just bam, bam, bam to the point? Or do you prefer longer series? Because there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there is something really exciting about something that goes on forever and you have tons of time to explore the characters. So there's value in that too. So let me know. What do you prefer? I want to know. So that's that. It was just a quick video. I just wanted to talk about why short series are so good. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, you can subscribe. I make other videos usually about nerdy things, about anime, about video games. I also am trying to do more like vlogs with friends and stuff, so look forward to that. And if you enjoyed this video, you can like it and comment down below with your favorite stuff.